5 and we are live. It is NewMutator and have a special guest here. It is Cruniac,
Hello.
aka Chohan, and oh my word, it is Creep on the Borderlands, and look who it is. It is Renwood's Peach Color, captaining for the Timecox merger. Headhunter, Stone Cold, Scratch, Bunny, Flatline, MP Phil, and Father Xmas all here in the game. And man, that is a lot of chat. Stone Cold trying to monopolize my attention, saying I need to watch him the whole game. I guess that's what he was doing in the previous game, taking so many units for himself.
Yeah, I definitely saw him last game, just fortunately saw him failing.
It's kind of hard not to see him. So opposite them, the Southern Parking's Giant Killer General, captaining for them, Genghis Khan, Sir Rockland, Chohan, or Cruniac, as we may know him, or Vicky, I think, as well.
The man of many names.
Yeah. Looks like that's Homer. Ross the Boss Ray is actually Homer. Eric Menez, Eastwind, I believe. Chef Paris, and Craig also showing up for the Southern Parkians. Alright, we'll get that out of the way. So, yeah, I have to admit that, you know, I did suspect that maybe you were the nefarious, kind of the infamous player. Notorious, I guess, would be the correct adjective to use. Player Kirk.
Oh.
I did suspect that at one point because yeah.
I've been friends with Kirk probably for like probably like I don't know, probably like 10, 11 years though, so I could see how people can confuse us at times. We do kind of tend to do a couple of the same things, but no, different people.
Different people, okay. And does Kirk also live in Ohio?
He lives close. He lives in Pittsburgh, which I'm just gonna say Cleveland's better than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks.
All right. Well, I wouldn't know because I haven't been to either. Although I have met people from both of those places, but I guess that doesn't really count. So yeah, you were mentioning that this game was pretty action-packed.
Yeah, I know. I think it's about halfway through the game. If the people watching pay attention to the chat, you'll see kind of a hilarious breakdown in the sort of the pink text type.
Okay, I'll keep my eye on that. So, are you the same Chohan that people kind of invoke about, you know, the Myth World Cups of old?
Oh no, that'd been a different one. I only ever played in one other Myth World Cup. Is in like 2004. Other than that, I pretty much always played World War II as far as Myth goes.
Okay, so how did you kind of end up on this team?
I think which one's I knew Paris a little bit, and then Eastwind or Eric Menez. He used to be a big time World War II as well, and he switched to Reg a long time ago. So there's like two of the people I knew on the tournament or on this team, and I mean I played Reg a little bit, and I mean I picked it up fairly quickly. So I guess they just assumed I'd be good for the team. That night, there's another tournament, the Winter Series I played in with Paris. So it's basically just a lot of players from that team on this one as well.
Was that pretty recently, the Winter Series? Because I don't think
it was right before. It ended like a week before Myth World Cup started.
Okay, because I didn't really, I didn't do my homework and figure that, you know, who was playing in the Winter Tournament, Winter Series, or anything like that.
Yeah, unfortunately that tournament was just plagued by like attendance issues from like every team, so there weren't any good games at all throughout the entire tournament.
Okay, well I wouldn't know because I didn't familiarize myself with the what had happened during it. So kind of the first time hearing about it actually. So what can you tell us about I guess the strategy going on right now for both of these teams?
Basically for ours we have Mr. Fatty Craig. We have him just sitting up north to guard the wall. And since he is so rotund, we figured he'd be best to guard the wall because he can just stand in the middle and basically block the entire thing off. And then we have a couple players mid, along with me and Eastwind. And who else do we have in middle? We also have Rockland in middle, and then we also had a big flank on south, which is basically where like the big pushing flank is going to be on south. Where middle we're basically just kind of holding, and north is definitely just to block our flank and to hold them on the wall.
And I don't know if you've kind of watched these films already from the perspective of the opposing team, but what can you tell us about how you perceive them in this game?
This one in general, I mean, it seemed like at least it seemed like from the first game they were trying to win. They were taking it very serious, but it kind of seemed as games went on, they kind of, I guess you could say, kind of lost faith that they were going to win. Then the games kind of unwinded a little bit for their team. Like I don't know if they're taking it not as serious or what happened, but it just didn't seem like things were going as smoothly for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I did catch a little bit of that in the chat early on. They were saying, you know, don't lose faith and stuff like that. We can still win, or you know, let's win a game or something like that. But you know, I don't know if they were trying to convince themselves of that or what was going on exactly. It is pretty discouraging, I guess, to be down 2 games already, 1 game away from being eliminated, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they did lose a little bit of faith, as we see them kind of getting rolled here in the south. You know, we saw that a couple of pus go down, taking out a dwarf, taking out a few archers there. They are down in percentages, 85%, 78% at this point. And seems like I'm missing a few things going on. I heard a dwarf go down. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Father Xmas with the counter pus, but not able to take out Genghis's dwarf there.
Yeah, one of the big things I think that kind of hurt them in this match as well at times. I mean, we only had just Craig camping up north with a couple warriors, a dwarf, a ghoul, and a journeyman. And I mean, they had MP Phil had quite a larger force that basically just sat up north, just sitting along the walls. And I mean, even though Craig was just sitting there, he was holding a larger percentage up north, just basically camping it there.
Yeah, so here's MP Phil. He has you know, a few warriors, a couple of Puskulls, and 5 archers. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he has too many more units than Craig, but I guess those archers are pretty expensive. So in that sense, he does. However, you know, that journeyman kind of helps balance that at least a little bit. Back in the south, yeah, basically Stone Cold is just losing units left and right. Basically all what I can see is just all of the archers being picked off one by one. There we see MP Phil saying that he's trapped. And that Puskull gets taken out pretty easily there. Genghis losing that dwarf as well.
This is where you'll see our south comes into a couple problems, because they reinforced their south with a bunch of people from middle, so they actually start to catch up a little bit. It should be here.
Yeah, Flatline I think is kind of moving in, trying to... Uh-oh, and here we go. Headhunter saying, Ren not even going to begin to argue with you. Didn't quite see exactly what, you know, what prompted that response.
I believe they were disputing strategy-wise what they should have been doing at that point.
Well, they are kind of in a hard, very difficult position to be in. They are down 16%. Oh, so Renwood kind of invoking the infallible captain theory, saying you should do whatever the captain says to do.
Oh, he's pulling out the caps lock.
That's true. And
that means it's serious, guys.
That either means it's serious or it means that it's the opposite of serious. But in this case, I guess that means that tempers are flaring, I would imagine. Perhaps. Yeah, here we go. So I guess Renwood is upset because of the Timecox merger. He was upset because of that. You know,
which was really really funny, because when the games first started, like I think they were scheduled to start at like 7 p.m. or something like that, and Renwood had showed up like 15 minutes late to begin with, and we were actually all getting ready to start a game, and Renwood joins the game, and everybody's just yelling at him to leave. They're like, leave the game, Renwood, leave the game. And he starts like, going on about, oh, he shouldn't sit for time cocks people or something like that. And it was hilarious to say the least.
Well, there we see Scratch kind of going down. That was kind of his last stand, I imagine. Yep, 0% remaining for Scratch. 31% to 58%. It's looking as if Southern Parkins are going to pull this one out. They do have fewer flags, but they do have more units, and there is plenty of time remaining.
Flag captured.
So here we see, this is basically you kind of holding off the remaining forces of the Timecock squad here in the south.
And you can see the finesse on those archers.
And I guess they only have like one unit left in that entire. Yeah, Flatline just basically has one warrior, and he's going to disengage with that. Headhunter moving in with 3 warriors. Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hang on to those either. And Craig, yeah, basically sitting on the wall the entire time. MP Phil retreating to this flag. It's basically going to be MP Phil versus the Southern Parkians at this point.
There's been rumors that Craig was AFK for like 3 minutes during that match, just devouring hamburgers as well, so we have yet to confirm or deny that.
And, yeah, I mean, well, who said that? Oh, basically I just read that somebody said, yeah, it's up to you, Phil, you got this. But I didn't catch who said that.
Flag captured.
And that's kind of the one of the difficulties I've been running into casting these games is like you're paying attention to the action, and sometimes the chat just flies by and you're not able to catch exactly what's being talked about.
Alright, and just for another funny moment we have coming up for everybody watching, you're gonna want to zoom in on Craig's dwarf here, and or his duff, whatever you want to call him, dwarf, and watch him closely for the next 1 or 2 minutes here. You're going to see some epic fail on the side of Mr. Craig here. He's going to show you exactly how to lose a dwarf to a ghoul.
Well, it looks like he's kind of rushing in here and attempting to take out all of these archers, basically all of MP Phil with that dwarf single-handedly. And, well, I guess not single-handedly since he had those Puskulls helping him out, but kind of a nice shot there, bouncing it. But, yeah, MP Phil with 1 goal here, chasing him down. Another nice shot there by Craig, taking that other archer out. 1 archer remaining. And interesting, just as you predicted, that dwarf does go down to that goal.
Butcher had the last laugh.
And even though Butcher died himself. So that is the end of Game 3. It seems like Timecocks are out of the tournament at this point. Time Wizards, Thundercocks, both of those teams have been eliminated at this point. However, there are 2 games yet to come. And just looking at the ratios for both of these teams, yeah, it looks like Renwood negative 34 damage. Can you just clarify something for me? Is it possible to get negative damage just from healing whites? Negative 34
yes.
damage?
Yeah, I believe each white you heal is, I think it's like 6 or 7 damage for each one. And I know they had like 6, so I mean, you're looking at... Actually, 34 seems like a lot, though, even healing 6 whites. I don't know, he might have accidentally blown one or two things up.
Right, because I don't know, like, where to draw the line from, yeah, that's just from healing whites, or that, is actually from friendly fire, or not.
I believe whites alone would have put him at like 30, I want to bet.
Alright, well, that remains a mystery at this point in time. Looks as if, Flatline doing the best for his team with 49 damage and 5 kills, although nobody able to secure positive ratios for the Timecocks merger. Southern Parkians, it looks like Cruniac doing pretty well. 12 kills, 68 damage, and not a single loss.
Dropping the hammer on him. See, that's what happens when GK doesn't slam spacebar in my units. Good things happen.
And Genghis Khan, 74 damage, also doing fairly well, although he did lose some units. 7 units lost there, 11 kills for him. So we're going to go and move into game number 4 in just a moment. Did you want to leave everybody with something?
I'd just like to point out, it looks like Sir Rocklane did some epic cherry picking there. Some low damage and a lot of kills.
Yeah, how do you think he was able to do that?
He's got to be picked, probably cherry picking with archers, I would assume. That or maybe it might have been a bunch of thrall kills. I don't know, one of the two.
Well, either way, it's pretty effective, I imagine. So you are listening to, or you are watching, I guess these are videos, NewMutator with special guest Cruniac. We are bringing these games to you so that you can kind of see the drama for yourself. The Myth World Cup 2012. Game 4 is next between these two. I guess it's safe to say these two teams are pretty epic. I would never have guessed that Time Wizards would team up with the Thundercocks. And, you know, Southern Parkians also, you know, bottom bracket game here. Pretty unexpected. So game 4 coming up in just a moment.
Peace.